They say chest pain is the warning sign. But what if the first symptom of heart disease is death? Silent or atypical heart attacks are common, especially in older adults and people with diabetes, but not always nearly half. Their arteries don't whisper when they're narrowing. They simply wait until one day the silence breaks. Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast. I'm Dr. John Miller, and today we're exploring something that hides in plain sight: how to keep our arteries clear, flexible, and alive after 60. The surprising truth is that nearly 80% of people who die from coronary heart disease are over 65. And yet, the early stages rarely get noticed. What most people dismiss as normal aging, fatigue, shortness of breath, a little dizziness, can be signals of something much deeper. So today, we're asking, how can we prevent heart attacks before they start? Not with quick fixes, but with daily natural habits that nourish the heart from the inside out. And sitting with me is someone I deeply respect, a physician whose wisdom bridges East and West. At 84 years old, he still teaches, writes, and shares knowledge passed down through generations. From Chengdu, China, Dr. Hinohara Lee.
Thank you, Dr. John. It is always a joy to sit together in these conversations. In Chinese, we say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. This is also true for the heart. We may not undo the years already lived, but every breath, every sip of water, every small choice we make today can still feed the roots of life.
That's beautiful. And it brings us right to the question that so many of our listeners carry. Why does heart disease arrive so suddenly, even in people who look healthy on the outside? You know, Dr. Lee, I've seen this happen too often. A patient's lab results look good. Blood pressure is fine. Cholesterol is normal. They walk every day, they don't smoke. And then suddenly they collapse from a heart attack in their sleep. No warning, no goodbye. It leaves families shocked, asking, how could this happen?
Yes, Dr. John, I have seen the same. In China we say, when the roots are sick, the leaves do not warn us until they fall. The arteries are like hidden rivers beneath the earth. They can harden and narrow silently without a sound, and by the time the surface shows symptoms, chest pain, shortness of breath, the damage has been building for many years.
That's the difficult part. We can't feel oxidative stress. We don't sense tiny injuries in our vessel walls, and yet they're happening daily. In Western medicine, we understand that spikes in sugar, chronic stress, lack of movement, all these cause micro tears in the endothelium, the inner lining of the blood vessels. The body tries to heal, but instead of smooth repair, plaque begins to form.
Yes. In traditional Chinese medicine, we call this blood stasis. The blood does not flow freely, it becomes thick, sticky, slow. Imagine a river that once ran clear, but now carries debris. The banks of the river, our vessel walls, suffer. This stagnation creates the ground where disease can take root.
That matches what I see in the clinic. Seniors often tell me, Doctor, I just feel tired. My legs cramp at night. I get dizzy when I stand. These are easy to dismiss as aging, but really they can be early signs of poor circulation.
Exactly. Aging itself is not the enemy. What ages us faster is imbalance. Too much inflammation, poor sleep, or weak digestion. Each day of neglect is like one more stone placed in the riverbed, slowing the current.
So if I understand you right, we've been asking the wrong question. It's not only about cholesterol or blood pressure. It's about the whole system: inflammation, blood thickness, nutrient absorption, hydration.
Yes, heart disease is not one number. It is the story of how we live. And the good news is the body is always waiting to repair if we give it what it needs.
One thing I noticed, Doctor Lee, is that many of my older patients really try to do the right things. They walk, they eat salads, they take their medicines faithfully, but still, their arteries clog silently. So maybe it's worth talking about the mistakes people don't realize they're making after 60. From my experience, I'd say three of the biggest ones are trusting numbers too much. They think, My cholesterol looks fine, so I must be safe. Relying only on pills, believing medication alone will protect the heart, ignoring small signals, fatigue, cramps, poor sleep, they dismiss these as just aging. Would you agree with that?
Yes, doctor. John. These are very common. In Chinese we say, to treat the branch and not the root is like cutting weeds without pulling them out. The numbers, cholesterol, blood pressure, these are branches. They tell us something, but not everything.
That's so true. I've had patients shocked by a heart attack even when their cholesterol was perfect.
Yes, because the real danger lies in daily habits, not just lab reports. A man may swallow pills faithfully, but eat poorly, sleep late, or ignore his stress. This is like pouring clean water into a dirty jar. The water cannot stay pure.
And about ignoring signals, leg cramps, dizziness, low energy, I admit, even in Western medicine, we often tell seniors, that's just aging.
But aging is not disease. When the body whispers, we must listen. Cramps may show magnesium loss. Dizziness may signal dehydration. Poor sleep may point to inflammation. Each is a lantern, warning us on the road.
So the mistake isn't growing old, it's mistaking symptoms for normal, when really they're early warnings.
Exactly. The body always speaks, but softly at first. If we honour the small signals, we need not face the loud alarms.
So if numbers and pills aren't enough, Dr. Lee, what should our listeners do instead? What simple daily habits can protect the heart before it's too late?
In Chinese medicine, we often say, the river is cleansed not by one stone, but by the constant flow of water. In the same way, heart health is not one miracle cure. It is small, steady habits, repeated each day, that keep the blood moving freely. Let us look at 5 of them, 5 quiet guardians for the arteries.
Beautiful. Let's begin with the first.
The first is magnesium. In the West, you measure it as a mineral, but in TCM, we see it as nourishment for the body's inner springs. Without it, the vessels become rigid, like bamboo left too long in the sun. When magnesium is low, the arteries tighten, blood pressure rises, and tiny cracks form along the vessel walls. Plaque begins to settle there.
That makes sense physiologically. Magnesium regulates vascular tone. Low magnesium is linked with higher sudden cardiac death risk, but more research is needed to know if supplements prevent it. And seniors often lose magnesium because of poor absorption, medications, or even soil depletion in food.
Yes, and symptoms whisper long before disaster. Cramps in the legs, restless sleep, fatigue. A handful of leafy greens may not be enough, so sometimes supplements, like magnesium glycinate or citrate, are needed. But more important is absorption. We must choose forms the body can truly drink in.
What comes next?
Garlic. Not the dried powder in jars, but fresh, raw garlic, gently crushed. When crushed, it releases allicin, a compound that keeps the blood from becoming too sticky. In TCM, we say garlic warms the channels and disperses cold stagnation. In the West, you might call it reducing platelet clumping and improving circulation.
Exactly. Research shows even 1 clove a day can lower blood viscosity and support nitric oxide production, which keeps vessels elastic. Garlic may support circulation, but supplements can increase bleeding risk and should be avoided with blood thinners unless approved by a clinician.
Yes. For those who dislike chewing raw garlic, one may crush it, let it rest 10 minutes, then swallow with warm water or a spoon of olive oil. Even fermented garlic or aged garlic extract can help. What matters is consistency, not extremity.
That brings us to inflammation, the hidden driver of heart disease.
Yes, chronic inflammation is like a slow-burning fire in the vessels. It weakens the walls, makes them fragile, and invites plaque to take hold. To calm this fire, turmeric is powerful. In TCM, yellow herbs cleanse heat and harmonize the blood. Modern science calls it curcumin, the active compound that lowers markers like CRP and reduces oxidative stress.
And it's true, curcumin alone is poorly absorbed. But when combined with black pepper or healthy fats, absorption improves dramatically. Western studies confirm its benefits for endothelial health and systemic inflammation.
Exactly. One may cook turmeric in oil-based dishes or prepare a warm turmeric tea with a touch of pepper. Turmeric, through its active compound curcumin, may modestly reduce inflammation and improve some health markers, but it is not proven to prevent heart attacks. Culinary use is generally safe, while high-dose supplements can increase bleeding risk and interact with medications. Use only with clinician guidance. Like tending a garden, the weeds of inflammation return unless you keep pulling them gently each day.
And what about nourishing the arteries themselves?
For repair, we need omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA. They are the building blocks for flexible vessels. In Chinese thought, they soften hardness and moisten dryness, like oil poured into a stiff hinge. In the West, omega-3s reduce triglycerides and support vessel health. Prescription forms lower events in select patients, but may raise atrial fibrillation risk.
Yes, and studies confirm that consistent omega-3 intake slows plaque progression and improves heart rhythm. But in the West, many seniors don't eat enough fish. For them, a purified fish oil supplement can fill the gap.
In Japan and coastal China, fish is part of daily life, and so heart disease rates have historically been lower. But wherever we live, the principle is the same. We must supply the body with the raw materials it needs to rebuild itself. Without bricks, even the best builder cannot repair a wall.
That's powerful. And I know your last habit may surprise some listeners: hydration.
Yes, water is the bloodstream's greatest protector. With age, the sensation of thirst declines. Seniors drink less, often too late, and the blood becomes thick like a slow river in drought. Thick blood clots easily, tires the heart, and worsens all the other problems we discussed.
That explains why dehydration can cause dizziness, fatigue, even irregular heartbeat. In fact, studies show just a 2% drop in hydration can impair vascular function.
Correct. But drinking a large glass all at once is not the answer. The kidneys flush it out. Instead, sip slowly throughout the day. Sip water throughout the day. Only use added electrolytes if advised by your clinician. And avoid too much coffee or alcohol, which steal water away.
So, hydration isn't just prevention, it's a daily act of repair?
Yes. And when paired with gentle movement, hydration keeps the river of life flowing. It carries nutrients, clears waste, and supports every other habit we've spoken of.
So, to recap, we have magnesium to relax the vessels, garlic to thin the blood, turmeric to calm inflammation, omega-3s to repair, and hydration to keep everything moving.
Exactly. Alone, each is useful. Together they weave a net of protection. This is not about perfection. It is about rhythm, about choosing daily actions that quietly rebuild the heart. Dr. John, may I tell you a story?
Please do.
Several years ago, I cared for a woman named May. She was 72, a retired teacher. When she first came to me, she looked strong on the outside, but she complained of fatigue, dizziness, and a heavy feeling in her chest. Her doctors told her, "Your tests are fine, just part of aging." But she felt in her heart something was wrong. When I examined her, I saw the signs of blood stasis. Her pulse was thin, her tongue dark. She told me she rarely drank water because she wasn't thirsty. She ate mostly rice and bread, with little fish, and she believed one daily pill would protect her. I explained to her that the body is like a garden. You cannot only prune the weeds, you must also water the soil, add nutrients, and keep the rivers flowing. So we began slowly, First, we added magnesium-rich foods and a supplement. Then she started taking 1 clove of garlic each morning, crushed and swallowed with warm water. At lunch, she cooked with turmeric in her soups. Twice a week she ate sardines, and on other days she took fish oil. Finally, she kept a small clay cup of water by her side, sipping all day instead of drinking only at meals. At first she laughed and said, "Doctor, such small things cannot change big problems." But within 3 months, her fatigue eased. The dizziness was gone. Her blood pressure softened. She told me, "I can climb stairs again without fear."
That's remarkable. And it shows exactly what we've been discussing. The body is always ready to repair if we give it the right tools.
Yes, May is now 78. She walks daily, she cooks with joy, and she says she feels younger than she did at 65. What healed her was not a miracle drug. It was consistency, the steady weaving of habits that supported her body's own wisdom.
That's powerful, Doctor, Lieutenant. And I think it gives hope to so many listening. Because the lesson is, it's not too late. Even in our 70s, even in our 80s, the body responds.
Indeed, the heart is not fragile. It is resilient, always seeking balance. Our task is simply to listen, to nourish, and to keep the river of life flowing.
For those listening at home, I want to pause here and make this simple. If you're wondering what you can actually do tomorrow morning, here's your plan. 5 steps for a stronger heart after 60. Magnesium. Support your vessel flexibility. Garlic. Keep your blood flowing smoothly. Turmeric. Calm hidden inflammation. Omega-3s. Rebuild and repair the arteries. Hydration. Keep the bloodstream moving. None of these are exotic. They're daily habits, not quick fixes.
Yes, Dr. John. And let me add, timing and rhythm matter. For magnesium, choose evening or before sleep. This allows the vessels to relax through the night. For garlic, 1 clove in the morning is enough. Let it rest after crushing so the medicine inside awakens. Turmeric is best cooked with oil at lunch or dinner when digestion is strong. Omega-3s should be taken with meals for absorption. And water, sip slowly throughout the day, not only when you are thirsty.
That's so practical. And it helps listeners see that health isn't about extremes. It's about steady rhythm, day after day.
Exactly. In China, we say, dripping water can pierce stone. Small actions, done consistently, transform the body more than sudden effort.
So if you're listening right now, start with just one of these. Add the others step by step. Don't wait until a crisis. Your heart is listening to every choice you make.
Yes. And speak to your doctor before adding supplements, especially if you take medication. Natural does not mean careless, but done with wisdom, these 5 steps are a gentle path toward renewal.
Dr. Lee, thank you for sharing your wisdom today. I think many of our listeners will leave this conversation with hope, realizing it's never too late to begin.
Thank you, Dr. John. It is always a gift to speak of the heart. For the heart is not only a pump of blood, but the home of our spirit. In Chinese we say, when the heart is at peace, the body is at ease. To care for the heart is to care for the whole of life.
That's beautiful. And to everyone listening, remember, your body is resilient. With magnesium, garlic, turmeric, omega-3s, and water, you're not just preventing disease, you're nurturing renewal.
Yes. And do not think of these as chores. Think of them as companions on your journey. Each sip of water, each clove of garlic, each step you take, they are all small prayers of health.
I love that. So to our listeners, try these habits for 7 days. Notice how your energy shifts, how your sleep improves, how your body responds. And let us know in the comments. We would love to hear your stories. Dr. Hinohara Lee.
Yes, share your journey. And remember, the best physician is the one who teaches us to heal ourselves. May each of you become the healer of your own heart.
Dr. Lee, thank you, and to all our viewers, stay well, stay steady, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Senior Health Podcast.